You're watching News Central now on News Central Television. I'm Dashen Usman. The top stories at this hour. Heroic naval officer Gideon Gwaza laid to rest. NAFDAC refutes rumor on ban on bread, warns bakers on use of saccharin. Central Bank of Libya commits to international standards. Details shortly. News Central now at this hour begins in Nigeria's capital Abuja, where the remains of Lieutenant Commander Gideon Gwaza were laid to rest at the military cemetery in Abuja. Gwaza, who tragically lost his life while rescuing 59 people from a sinking dredging vessel in Rivers State, hailed from Kaduna State. He is survived by his wife and 3 sons. Friends and family of Lieutenant Commander Gwaza say he will be deeply missed. Now joining us on the news to speak to us live from the cemetery is Abuja Bureau Chief Amadin Uyi. Hello, Amadin, can you hear me? Good morning. Good afternoon.
Morning, Dashen.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. So, Amadin, what is the mood like over there at the military cemetery in Abuja?
It's a burial of a senior naval officer, one who died in heroic circumstances. You can virtually feel the sorrow, the pain in the atmosphere from friends and family. According to the chief of the naval staff, he was deployed and died while serving his fatherland. The naval chief says that Lieutenant Commander Gideon Gwaza will be sorely missed, not just by the family from the Nigerian Navy, but also his immediate family and the nation at large.
Well, he's definitely such a hero, but can you give us more details of what actually transpired, Amadin?
Now, the naval chief clarified that it was not a dredging vessel, but a merchant vessel, that a distress signal was received, that the merchant vessel was in distress. So the commander was deployed with his team to go and effect the rescue.
Now, moving away from that, let's also tell you that Nigeria's Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, has reaffirmed the Army's commitment to democratic governance, rejecting calls from powerful interest groups for military intervention. Speaking at the Army's combined 2nd and 3rd Quarters Conference in Uyo, Akwa Ibom, Lagbaja emphasized the Army's determination to uphold its integrity, which has been rebuilt over 25 years of staying out of power. Addressing concerns raised during the recent End Bad Governance protests, Lagbaja assured that the Army remains focused on maintaining national unity and security. He also highlighted the Army's efforts not only in combating threats like terrorism and banditry, but also in addressing the food crisis through a massive food production initiative in collaboration with the government and private sector. Let's now tell you that Femi Gbajabiamila, Chief of Staff to President Bola Tinubu, says there is no set timeline for implementing the Steve Oronsaye Report. Speaking after a visit to the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative headquarters in Abuja, Gbajabiamila, a former Speaker of the House of Representatives, refuted claims that the progress of the report had stalled. He assured that the federal government is carefully planning to ensure a smooth implementation of the policy. The Oronsaye report, submitted in 2012, was initiated by former President Goodluck Jonathan to streamline federal government parastatals, commissions, and agencies. It identified 541 entities and recommended reducing them to 161, with 38 agencies abolished and 52 merged. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu will hold bilateral talks with his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping at the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation Summit between September 4 and 6, 2024. Tinubu will visit China to represent the West African bloc ECOWAS at the summit. The Nigerian president is the chairman of the Authority of Economic Community of West African States, Heads of State and Government. Presidential spokesman Ajurin Galale told State House correspondents on Tuesday that at the summit, Tinubu will discuss regional peace and security. Galale added that the trip aims to yield significant economic benefits for Nigeria. The planned meeting will take place amid a flurry of seizures of Nigerian assets by a Chinese firm, Zhongshan Fucheng Industrial Investment Co. Limited.
His Excellency President Bola Tinubu will depart for the People's Republic of China, most specifically Beijing, from the nation's capital within the first week of September to engage in a series of meetings and activities with immediate and future benefit to the Nigerian economy and the Nigerian people. First and foremost, His Excellency Mr. President will conduct site visits to two major Chinese corporations, Huawei Technologies, as well as the China Rail and Construction Corporation, CRCC. This is with a view to achieve one of Mr. President's top agenda items, which is the completion of the Ibadan to Abuja segment of the Lagos to Kano high-speed rail line. Thereafter, His Excellency Mr. President will meet 10 selected chief executive officers of 10 major Chinese corporations with assets under management totaling over $3 trillion US dollars across multiple sectors of the economy, including information and communications technology, refining, oil and gas, aluminium production, seaport construction, harbor construction and dredging services, financial services, satellite technology development, as well as many other critical sectors. Mr. President will also meet with his Chinese counterpart in the person of President Xi Jinping, where several MOUs will be signed.
Earlier, Achike Chude, a global affairs analyst, spoke to us on this development.
President of the chairman of the African Union, and he will speak on behalf of Africa. Just like if President Bola Tinubu has to go to an international setting where he is in a position to speak for ECOWAS, if ECOWAS is there as a regional body. But as a continental body, Africa has a representative, has somebody that will speak for her. Obviously, but you cannot do away with Nigeria's influence, even in spite of the myriads of socio-economic problems that we have. Nigeria's status and stature in Africa has diminished greatly over the years. There is no doubt about that. But still, Nigeria remains a force. Nigeria's economy remains one of the biggest in Africa, even though we are suffering serious economic debilitation.
We're currently fourth.
But again, when any African leader speaks, there is a general consensus about what needs to be done. He can also, even while speaking for the country, also make a passing statement about the rest of the continent, because they are all facing this.
I'm now being told that we have been able to reconnect with Amadine Uyi, Abuja's bureau chief, and he was, before we lost connection, he was actually speaking on the burial happening right now of Lieutenant Gwaza in Abuja Cemetery right now. Hello, can you hear me, Amadine?
Yes, I can hear you, Dashen.
Okay, welcome back. It's nice to have you back. You were saying something before we lost you earlier.
Now, I said that you asked what was the mood like at this cemetery. I said you could in the atmosphere that the death of Commander Gwaza was not only a loss to his immediate family, but a loss to the family of the Nigerian Navy and also the armed forces. The Chief of Naval Staff commended him for his heroic exploits, saying even at the expense used to disobey any order, but listen to an order to try to rescue many who were stranded, and in returning back, he lost his life.
All right, yeah. Before we actually lost you earlier, I do remember we were actually asking if you could give us more details as to what actually transpired, and you said it wasn't on a dredging vessel. You're trying to clarify that.
Yes, the chief of naval staff clarified that it was not a dredging vessel, but a merchant vessel, which had about 59 occupants on board, including 10 naval officers. That when the distress call came, that the vessel was in distress, and the lives of all those who were on the vessel were at risk, that Commander Gwaza was immediately deployed with several naval personnel to go and effect their rescue. He did not disobey those orders, but went ahead, and after the successful rescue of the 59 persons, that on the way back, their own vessel had an accident and he lost his life.
Quite a sad story. We pray that his soul continues to rest in peace. Thank you so much, Amadine. Away from that, Nigeria's electoral umpire has announced the commencement of permanent voter card distribution to new applicants across all local government areas in Edo State. The process begins today, Wednesday. The Independent National Electoral Commission emphasized that cards will not be released to third parties and urged applicants to collect their PVCs personally. INEC's National Commissioner, Sam Olumekun, reported that the ward-level distribution has already concluded with 125,928 PVCs collected within 5 days, representing 68.3% of the 184,438 new cards issued during the recent continuous voter registration exercise. Now, this marks the highest collection rate since INEC introduced the continuous voter registration system in 2015. Olumekun attributed the success to INEC's strategic organization, which involved packaging PVCs by polling units, wards, and local government areas, and directly informing voters about the availability of their cards. Time for a short break now. When the News Central now returns, Delta Governor Oborewori highlights economic progress at 33. Join us again. We now head to Delta State, where the governor, Sheriff Oborewori, has said the state is growing steadily on all economic development indicators, hence emerging as a powerhouse in the Committee of States in Nigeria. Governor Oborewori stated this in his remarks at a Thanksgiving service to mark the 33rd anniversary of the state's creation at the Government House Chapel in Asaba. News Central correspondent Austin Azu takes it up from here.
Delta State was one of the states created on August 27, 1991 from the defunct Bender States, now present-day Edo and Delta States, by the then military president General Ibrahim Babangida, retired. The state capital is Asaba. The state has 5 major ethnic groups, which are the Urhobos, Ijaws, Isokos, Ishekiris, and Yanyomans, who are the Igbo-speaking parts of Delta. Since the return of democracy in 1999, successive elected governors in Delta State to date are of the PDP extractions.
Do solemnly swear that I will be faithful.
The journey of 33 years calls for a reflection. Hence, the state converged on the Government House Chapel, Asaba, for an interdenominational Thanksgiving service.
He has given us victory. Almighty God has given us victory.
Governor Oborewori paid gloomy tributes to former governors and their deputies, past and present political office holders, civil servants, serving and retired, royal fathers and fathers of faith, community leaders and all Deltans at home and in diaspora, whose selfless services has contributed to the peace and progress of the state. He said his administration had continued to put the state ahead in terms of development by investing heavily in infrastructural developments in all sectors of the state's economy.
Delta State has involved in a strong, vibrant, and strategic component of the Nigerian Federation. Judging by all the indices of development, the state occupies a pride of place in the Nigerian Federation, both locally and international diaspora.
Some respondents who identified how underdeveloped the state was 33 years ago expressed confidence of a bright future.
So Delta State is #1 in sports. Delta State develops youths and continues to do youth development, not just in sports, in every other area.
If we were still in the Midwest, the development we are seeing today in Sabah and all the major cities of this state, we would not have seen it. So creation of state is a blessing.
When they brought Delta State, this Delta State was empty. Everywhere bush, everywhere. But today you can see the development in the state. The whole place is well developed. Delta State of our dream, we are getting there gradually.
Delta State is known as the big heart of the nation, a major producer of crude oil in Nigeria. Apart from crude oil and agriculture, Delta is also a major exporter of raw talents, sports, among others. In Asaba for News Central, Austin Azu.
Still in Delta State, the government has begun talks with the State Council of the Nigeria Labour Congress and counterpart Trade Union Congress on the implementation of the new minimum wage. Workers in the state have also expressed optimism, urging the committee not to shortchange their interests. News Central correspondent Austin Azu, who spoke to a cross-section of the state workforce in Asaba, the state capital, tells us more.
New minimum wage for workers across Nigeria after President Bola Tinubu's pronouncement of subsidy removal became intensive as organized labor leaders, after several unproductive negotiations with governments, embarked on warning strikes, which culminated in an agreement of a new minimum wage of 70,000 naira as minimum wage for civil servants across Nigeria. After the agreement between the federal government and organized labor leaders, state governments were mandated to further discuss with the labor leaders in their states to agree on how much the states can pay their workforce. In Delta State, Governor Sheriff Oberewori at the State Executive Council meeting agreed to pay the new minimum wage but directed Secretary to the state government and the Commissioner for Finance to meet with the organized labor in the state to work out the fine details.
Delta State will not go less. Because it's a law now. So we'll navigate between that 70 or more, as the case may be.
These civil servants applauded the governor's directives and urged the committee not to shortchange their interest at the negotiation table.
What we can advocate is to ensure for the state government and the committee, the labor committee, to ensure that the adjustment is not done in a way that it will shortchange workers.
Well, our government is not a biased one. I believe the people will be his choice.
As they said 70, if they want to pay the 70, they can pay it. But for my own opinion, if they can add it to 100, to be okay.
Even the government know that there's no 70,000 naira minimum wage can never be enough for every Nigerian's, especially civil servants, to take care of their bills and the family. So we're expecting like 150 if they can, so that they can cushion the effects of the fuel hike and the things in the markets.
With the prevalent hardship in the country, it's imperative that the welfare of workers be made a top priority for employers of labor in both the public and private sector. In Asaba for News Central, Austin Azu.
Thank you, Austin. Now let's talk a business-related story where the Nigerian government has taken a significant step towards regulating the cryptocurrency industry with the Securities and Exchange Commission's decision to issue licenses for virtual asset providers. Now, this move aims to establish a framework for the safe and secure operation of cryptocurrency exchanges, addressing concerns around fraud, customer protection, and market stability. As the regulatory landscape evolves, it's essential to examine the implications of this shift on the operational framework of cryptocurrency exchanges, the measures in place to prevent fraud, and also protect consumers. Earlier, author, Crypto Investors Playbook, and online business consultant Silas Omekwe spoke to us on this development.
Meeting we had with CBN in 2017. I said the best way to regulate cryptocurrency in Nigeria would not be from the CBN, but rather from the SEC. And, one of the ways they could do it, or one of the impacts that it's going to have, is that it's going to bring some form of sanity into the system, because we would love to see some form of regulatory oversight, some form of compliance with KYC requirements, cost of consumer protection as well, which is one of the major reasons, because, it's actually very necessary. It's actually very necessary. And we would need some form of operational standards and provide some market stability in the system. So I think it's a step in the right direction. The issue with Samba.
The FCT Police Command is about parading some suspects involved in the alleged killing of 2 police officers during a clash with members of the Islamic Movement of Nigeria in Abuja on Sunday, the 25th of August. Now joining us, we have Idong Joseph, our correspondent in Abuja, to give us an update on this proceeding. Hello, Idong. Tell us, what has been the proceedings so far? All right, Idong, we can't make out what you're saying, but we'll try to reconnect with you in a bit, okay? We're having issues with your sound. All right, so moving away from that, let's quickly bring you a health-related story. As resident doctors in Nigeria continue their one-week strike action seeking the safe return of their colleague, Dr. Ganiat Popola, who has spent several months in the den of kidnappers, patients across the country are calling for a quick resolution of the issue, which has crippled activities across health facilities in the country. Some of them, while lamenting the absence of medical doctors in government hospitals, say they are unable to afford the cost of health services in private hospitals. Our correspondent, Idong Joseph, has the report.
The one-week industrial action by the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors demanding the release of Dr. Ganiat Popola, who was abducted about 8 months ago, has begun to take its toll on patients and medical facilities across the country.
It's a form of solidarity amongst, all the bodies, all the Association of Resident Doctor bodies nationwide, to tell them, the federal government, and to let them know that we want the immediate release of our colleague.
We have our monitoring teams going around to ensure full compliance. And I can tell you that the 2 of the strike, there's full compliance here in Federal Medical Center, Asaba.
While the association and its affiliate members have described their action as necessary, a visit to several health facilities highlights the challenges patients are now facing. At the Federal Medical Center in the nation's capital, Abuja, the turnout of patients was low as a result of the situation. The same was witnessed in Delta State as patients did not gain access to doctors for treatment.
Not be the way when people they come before, then they. If you look around now, then they counting.
I never see doctor. They never attend to me.
So even drugs that my normal routine drugs, out of all, they only gave me one and asked me to go and buy the rest for.
However, in Abia State, it was a total different scenario as patients were seen hanging around hospitals hoping to be attended by a medical doctor.
Today, we're supposed to come for checkup, they dress the wound, but up to now, they have not come. It's not their way because by this time, they'll be here to attend to us.
Some members of the association empathized with patients on the challenge being posed by the situation.
We feel for the masses. We understand, but you know it's a very big picture. You have to look at the big picture. If doctors keep on working, and then we get abducted every now and then, for one who has been abducted, you don't know what the person's fate is. You don't know what the outcome is going to be.
Although the demand of the striking resident doctors is the safe release of Dr. Ganiat Popola, many patients are hoping that this saga will end as quick as possible. In Abuja for News Central, I am Idonk Joseph.
Now joining us on the news is Dr. Aminat Jalili, Secretary General of ARD, ABU Teaching Hospital in Kaduna. Hello, Doctor. Thank you for joining us at this time. Please, can you unmute your mic?
Yes, I've done that.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you now.
Audible?
Yeah, I can hear you now. All right, so Doctor, tell us, what specific security concerns prompted the decision to embark on the strike?
Thank you so much. Once again, I'm Dr. Aminat Jalili Jimo. I'm General Secretary, Association of Resident Doctor, Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, and also the Secretary of Medical Women's Association of Nigeria, Kaduna State Branch. Thank you for granting me this interview. It's because of one of our members, Dr. Ganiat Popola, who was kidnapped at a resident home at the doctor's quarters in the National Eye Center, Kaduna State, on the 27th of December, 2023. Today actually marked the 8th month that she has been in captivity. A mother just like me, a sister just like me and you, and also a friend. She meant no harm, and she has been there suffering. And that was actually what led to this strike.
Okay, so what response do the resident doctors hope to achieve through this action?
Yes, we hope she'll be united back to us and our family safely, healthy, and also united back to our children and our husband, and also including our nephew, because both of them are still in captivity.
All right, now, Dr. Jalili, many of our politicians, seek medical treatment abroad and they also have personal doctors. Now, leaving the public to endure most of these strikes, what are your thoughts on this? Because it seems like it's the public that tend to suffer more.
There's this common saying that the hand that heals should not bleed. The hands are bleeding, the heart are aching, and also the eyes are getting blind. So because of this, we understand, and we hope day to day we understand more. Doctors are not the health practitioners, though we know it's happening in the country. But now common, we are becoming a target. We are carrying out our services. Yes, we are essential workers, but our life too is also at stake. We work in fear. We can't move around even within the hospital. Even within your own compound, you can't live at peace. So they should please help us to call on all the stakeholders to kindly come to our aid, unite our sister back to us. She's one of us. Our space has been vacant for long. Many old, many young has gone blind because she has not been around. Our children have been lingering, watching every day for the arrival of their mom, both her husband. She has parents, and they're longing to welcome back their daughter. So that's what I have to say.
All right, we empathize with you, and we sincerely hope that she's rescued as soon as possible. Thank you so much, Dr. Jalili, for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Moving away from that, now Director General of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, Mojisola Adeyeye, has refuted claims circulating on social media that the agency has advised Nigerians to stop eating bread. In a statement on Tuesday, Adeyeye dismissed the video as false, clarifying that NAFDAC has not issued any such warning. She emphasized that the use of saccharin in bread is prohibited under Nigerian and international food standards and warned that bakers using unapproved additives will face sanctions. Adeyeye also reiterated that the agency has not raised concerns about the safety of bread in the country. Let's turn our attention to a disturbing trend of slumping and deaths sending shockwaves across the country as health experts sound the alarm, urging Nigerians to prioritize health checks. Bola has more on this report.
Having your vitals taken has become imperative in our society as Nigeria grapples with an alarming trend of sudden deaths owing to inexplicable slumping. On the 3rd of June 2024, the Deputy Commissioner of Police, Abubakar Muhammad Guri, was found dead in his office after slumping in his chair. 3 weeks after another casualty was recorded, one of the senior officers of the Nigerian Customs Service, SCN Andrew, also slumped and was pronounced dead few hours later. Sad news once again rented the air a month later as Nigerian Senator Ifeanyi Uba, representing Anambra South District, died as a result of a cardiac arrest. Thinking there had been a lead over the sad happenings, there comes the sudden demise of Nigeria's iconic singer and songwriter Onyeka Onwenu, affectionately referred to as the Elegant Stallion, who slumped and died after performing at a private function. As Nigerians remained baffled with all the sad happenings was another addition of the Ogun resident electoral commissioner, Barrister Niyi Ijalaye, who slumped and died in Abuja. This doesn't just happen to prominent people. According to the World Health Organization, cardiovascular disease is responsible for the deaths of an estimated 17.9 million people each year.
Mo máa ń yẹ̀ wò kódà gan máa tún ṣe yẹ̀jẹ̀ wò mo máa ń yẹ̀ wò dáadáa ṣébẹ̀ ni tó bá jẹun kánú ló máa sọ pé òun máa ṣẹ́ẹ̀kì ara òun wò kò sóúnjẹ nínú.
It's been long ago. It's been a very long time, over 10 years now. Ṣé person wey never chop go say wan go check BP kẹ̀ báwo mi fẹ́ check ẹ̀ báwo adé bẹ̀ sọ bá ní kìlọ́mọ́ wa ní kí tó check BP nǹkan tá à ń ṣe lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ tẹ́lẹ̀.
The commonest risk factor for people slumping and dying still remains hypertension worldwide. So hypertension is persistent and persistently elevated blood pressure greater than 140/90. And when your blood pressure is high, you need to attend to it, because if left unattended to, it can lead to a whole lot of complications. And many of those complications are what is responsible for people slumping and dying. And if you check and it's normal, then you don't need to, check all the time. So maybe you can check once in 3 months, once in 6 months. But if you check and it's abnormal, then you need to start, that will take us to treatment. Then, of course, there are 2 major ways in which we address blood pressure. The drugs that you take, that's the pharmacological method of addressing your blood pressure, and the non-pharmacological methods, which are lifestyle changes.
Statistics from the World Health Organization indicate that by 2030, almost 23.6 million people will die from cardiovascular diseases, mainly from heart disease and stroke. These are projected to remain the single leading causes of death in the world. Hospitals are often besieged by people on a daily basis. But how many are here to check your vitals and prevent sudden death? In Lagos for News Central, Bola.
Coming up, defense lawyer levels call for death penalty over coup attempt. Indiscriminate in DR Congo. We'll bring you details after the break. We'll move to live pictures from the FCT Police Command, where some suspects are being paraded right now who are involved in the alleged killing of 2 police officers during the clash with Shiite members. And we have the Commissioner of Police briefing right now.
Your ATM is not working well. You should go to the bank, inside the bank. Go to the nearest bank to report. So as soon as you move to report to the nearest bank, before you reach the bank safe, they have used their PIN number and siphoned the whole money. That is their work. That is why they were in Abuja and what they came to do from different places. They are twins. So these are the 3 cases we have for you. If you have any question, you can ask me. I am here to answer anyone. God bless you all. I don't know what you want me to answer. Are they not the members that killed our policemen? Do you think we manufacture these ones? Why not interview them? Go ahead. Some of them have confessed. You can ask them. We are hunting everybody. You can see the directive of the Inspector General of Police. They are prescribed. We are working on some modalities. But my promise to them, like I said in severally, is that I think they have murdered sleep. So, I don't know what you read in the social media that you're asking me about. They will soon be charged. They're a terrorist group. They will soon be charged to court. Others know. I don't want to say what we're doing. But as far as they have been prescribed, we are acting it fully without fear of favor, affection or ill will. As far as the police is concerned, and the other security agencies, they have been prescribed. They don't have right of assembly, and they don't have right of protest. That's the truth. Yes.
Commissioner of Police in Abuja, Bennett Igwe, speaking during the parading of some suspects involved in the alleged killing of 2 police officers during a clash with members of the Islamic Movement of Nigeria in Abuja, which happened on Sunday, the 25th of August. The Democratic Republic of Congo is making international headlines as the public prosecutor has requested the death penalty for 50 individuals, including 3 American citizens involved in an attempted coup on May 19. Defense lawyer Darius Shea has criticized the prosecutor's request as indiscriminate, arguing that seeking such a severe penalty for all defendants without considering individual circumstances undermines justice. Shea contends applying the death penalty collectively raises serious concerns about the proportionality and fairness of proposed sentences. The case has attracted significant attention, highlighting debates about the appropriate response to the alleged crimes. In a significant development in Libya's financial sector, Deputy Governor Abdel Fattah Ghaffar has reaffirmed the Apex Bank's dedication to adhering to national and international regulations. This comes as the United States recently supported United Nations efforts to resolve disputes between Libya's rival administrations over central bank management. U.S. intervention is critical in ensuring these decisions or discussions do not impact Libya's essential oil revenues. The central bank's commitment to legal and regulatory standards could be key in stabilizing Libya's financial sector and boosting international confidence as the situation unfolds. In other news from around the world, Russian authorities have detained 3 individuals for allegedly plotting a terrorist attack on a church in Ingushetia, a small Muslim majority republic in the Caucasus region. The regional branch of the investigative committee in Ingushetia said the 3 Russian nationals were planning an attack in the city of Sunza. The suspects are believed to be members of the Islamic State group, which has repeatedly vowed to target Russia for its support of Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad. Authorities have opened a criminal case against the 3 suspects for participating in activities of a terrorist organization and for conspiracy to commit a terrorist act.
Граждане России, приверженцы запрещенной на территории России международной террористической организации, вынашивали намерения по совершению диверсионно-террористических акций на территории региона. В частности, ими готовилось нападение на церковь Покрова Пресвятой Богородицы в городе.
Now, in the world of sports, Italian Serie A club Udinese have parted ways with Nigerian striker Isaac Success. Now, the Zebras announced on their official website on Tuesday, Success endured an underwhelming performance in the 2023-2024 Serie A season, registering just a goal and an assist in 27 matches for Udinese. The Super Eagles forward joined the Whites and Blacks from their sister club Watford in 2021, but currently appears to be surplus in requirements at the Blue Energy Stadium. Following the club's decision on Tuesday, Success is reportedly attracting transfer interest from Turkish clubs, and he is expected to find a new home on or before the European transfer deadline on Saturday. Liverpool have agreed to sign Georgia goalkeeper Georgi Mamardashvili from Valencia in a deal worth up to £29 million. The 23-year-old will join subject to a work permit and international clearance for a fee of £25 million plus £4 million in add-ons. However, he will remain with the La Liga club this season before moving to Merseyside for the start of the 2025-2026 campaign. Mamardashvili played in Georgia's 4 games at Euro 2024 before they were knocked out by eventual winners Spain in the last 16. Brazil international Alisson Becker remains the Reds' first-choice goalkeeper, while new manager Arne Slot also has Republic of Ireland stopper Karl-Heinz Keller at the disposal this season. Nacional defender Juan Izquierdo who collapsed on the pitch after suffering an irregular heartbeat last week, has died, and his club, Uruguayan club, announced today. The 27-year-old had been undergoing treatment since collapsing during Nacional's Copa Libertadores game against Sao Paulo on August the 22nd. Izquierdo fell to the ground unconscious in the 84th minute without coming into contact with another player. He was taken off the pitch in an ambulance before being treated at the intensive care unit of Albert Einstein Hospital. The hospital said in a statement that he had died as a result of brain death following a cardiopulmonary arrest associated with cardiac arrhythmia. And that's all at this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of our major stories. We told you that heroic naval officer Gideon Gwaza laid to rest. We also told you that NAFDAC refutes rumor on ban on bread, warns bakers on use of saccharin. Finally, you heard that Central Bank of Libya commits to international standards. Send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. Do follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I'm Dashen, Usman.